I am here with Aaron from NetApp, who is working in the NOC. You're a technical marketing engineer at NetApp, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're spending basically the entire week in the NOC.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks actually I've been in the NOC.
Right.
Because we got the setup week.
I always forget about the extra work that goes in. I just show up a couple days early and, it goes how it goes.
Yeah.
So we actually have a couple questions for you. We all know the NOC is just a vital part of how things work here. I mean, it's literally the network that runs everything. Tell us a little bit about that, how it works, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so it's really impressive how Cisco brings together all these engineers from all over the world to come together and provide this network that's both really reliable and has excellent performance throughout the week to all of these people. I don't think there's many companies out there that could pull something like that off. It's very cool.
Of course, with all of our ecosystem partners, right? You're in the NOC as a NetApp person. I think people might be surprised to find that out, that you're not actually a Cisco employee. Tell us NetApp's role.
Yeah, we've actually done the NOC stuff for seven times in a row now for the US and the Europe shows. Basically, we are there to provide storage to those network engineers that are providing all the internet and everything to everyone at the show. So we want to make sure that their applications are running with all the performance that they need. We want to make sure that when we have something like a data center lose power throughout the setup week because there's so many people on site and getting their hands doing stuff, we just want to make sure that the applications stay up, that we continue serving data, and then we want to make sure that after the show's over, that everyone has access to that data throughout the year so that they can see all their hard work and they can kind of show it off to their customers and people that they interact with.
Very cool. It's like a proof of concept almost, that you can show people how it works.
It really is. And
best of one, right?
Yeah, in many cases, the venues have come back and said like, oh, this network is so good, we need this. How can you do this for us for the rest of our shows?
Yeah, I love it. So let's dive into the tech details a little bit, because I know you're an engineer. Tell me, what are you guys using? Are you using FlexPod or SolidFire? Tell me about it.
Yeah, so given that it's Cisco and NetApp collaborating here, we obviously have a FlexPod. But it's not a given. We don't do stuff just because.
Whatever fits the job.
The reason we've got a FlexPod there is because of that 1 week that we have to set everything up. With FlexPod, all of the best practices have been predefined for us, so we can just implement those best practices and we don't have to worry about the risk of deploying this data center infrastructure, so that we can go on and begin deploying access points and switches for everyone else.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and then we also have a Metric cluster, and that's the big thing for business continuity. So the Metric cluster is a NetApp technology that takes two storage clusters and separates them in two separate data centers. So that way, if we have power outages, which happened this week, then we can just fail over to the surviving data center and we can continue serving data. All the virtual machines can restart in that surviving data center and continue as normal.
And did anyone notice?
Well, it was the setup week, actually.
Oh, okay, because we did have a power outage at the hotel yesterday, so I wondered if that was what you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what it's like. You mentioned that you got here a week early. You're working on 2 weeks now. What's it like to arrive a week early? What's that week like?
I can make that sound bad and tiring because we're working really long days, 12-hour days. But the reality
Only
is...
12-hour days.
The reality is it's a blast. We get together, it's a great team of people. Everyone's really smart, really hardworking, and it's just great working on a team like that and getting so much stuff done in that week. It's very cool to see.
I imagine that you're working with people that you're not always working with during the regular course of the year, right? Is there a kind of a ramp-up time even before that week that you start working with, Cisco engineers, whoever else is there?
Yeah, we actually stage everything in London a couple months before, so that was in the beginning of December. We got together in London, and we basically just make sure that we will be able to get the data center up and running very quickly, because once we get on site, we want probably within the first day, we want the data center up and running.
Oh, wow.
So we kind of get everything ready there, and then that way when we arrive on site, we can hit the ground running.
Well, and I know you're a Cisco champion, Aaron. I'm going to bring in another Cisco champion to have a little chat with us today. David, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hello, thanks for the invitation.
So David, tell us a little bit about what you do in your normal everyday job.
Well, in my everyday job, I work for a Cisco partner to support a customer, and right now they are having several data centers, so we just kind of have the this power to play a little bit with ACI and non-ACI environments and trying to mix them together using DCI on the legacy data centers on a traditional networking. And well, right now we also have DCI with ACI, but we are trying to introduce this idea of using multi-pod or multi-site. We are just trying to bring more stuff. It's a little bit hard because you need to get the customer a little bit convinced that this is going to be the right way. But we are on it, and we are in charge of just managing everything. So they are all the time trying to consolidate all the data centers to this number of strategic data centers we are managing. So you have all the time, all the weekends, you have migrations and stuff, so you need to prepare all the environments so they can just plug the devices and just have it done.
That's beautiful. Have you started using then like the new multi-site controller with ACI and all that good stuff that was just released with what was that, a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that?
No. Right now, actually, we are trying to
trying
do
to
it.
go that way.
Because I have been on the session and it's just addictive. But this is the good thing also about Cisco Lab, that you get to soak yourself on so much knowledge here, and then you can just talk with the guy who is explaining, and then he suddenly tells you not only what was in the presentation, but then he goes to details. You can do this, and then you got them like extremely fresh, and you just go to your manager, to your customer, hey, we can do this, and I just saw it on Cisco Lab, and it's amazing. And you are not just like enjoying it and having fun here, but also you're bringing some new ideas that can improve your daily task and your daily work.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk after this because we've got a FlexPod Metro cluster that we're doing with multi-ACI in the next couple of months. So we're going to get together after this and figure that out. That's cool.
I like this. This is what it's all about at Cisco Live, right?
Program goes.
That's right. Cisco Champions, Cisco Live. We want to do the human networking, and now people get to see it live on TV. And literally, we didn't even plan that. So I love that little moment we had there. So what are you most excited about seeing here, David? I mean, obviously you mentioned
Cisco
ACI.
Live?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have been lately trying to get in a little bit into more like coding, so APIs, and you get into DevNet is so addictive. I mean, you start like, well, maybe let me try to do a little bit, and I have been like able to deploy tenants, BRFs, and simple stuff, but then you see guys joining DevNet like, oh, well, I can get the DC just up and running in 15 minutes with this code. You're like, I mean, really, you want to get to that level of magic.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's so true. I was doing an ACI roadshow last year, 2 years ago, and the partner that I was paired with was bringing up entire data centers in 20 minutes. I mean, it was just magical, right?
It's amazing.
Do you dive into the DevOps world at all at the NetApp? I know my buddy Josh Atwell over at NetApp is big on that, so I was curious, are you getting into that at all?
Yeah, we do a lot of different DevOps things. That's not specifically where I'm more on the infrastructure side of things.
Sure.
So with FlexPod, we have a whole group of built-on guys, and they've got things like FlexPod Data Center on, Docker Data Center on FlexPod and things like that. So we get a lot into DevOps and a few specific NetApp tools that we've got along with that.
Yeah, that's very cool. So what have you guys seen? I know you're spending most of your week in the NOC. Can you give us any details about what you've seen there? Any metrics, anything exciting going on?
Yeah, talking about APIs and programmability, we've got everything with APIs over there. So we've got all kinds of dashboards that we're trying to show. Say what?
I'm so jealous. That's amazing.
Yeah, you got to come over and check it out.
I saw it. There was like already 20-something terabytes of transmission in whatever is going on the week. It's just like people is just tweeting and sending pictures. It's amazing.
Yeah, not like every other conference that you usually go to where it's, you're trying to send a tweet and that won't even work.
No, it is extremely responsive, and not only like the network, but also you have like the Cisco Live, the social team. They're always there trying to reach out, and if you see, if you tweet that there is some kind of problem, I mean, whatever the thing, they are just reaching you, okay, how can we help you? So it's not only a network, like everybody is really trying to bring something awesome, like to make it amazing this week, right?
Yeah.
So David, you told me something really cool that you're working on as a Cisco champion, trying to do some more localization, basically. I'm going to make you retell the story. Just go ahead and tell us again.
Yeah, well, as a Cisco champion and also as a Cisco designated VIP for Cisco Learning Network, I have been helping them in, actually I proposed that we would be able to create some kind of content, but for a Spanish community, so it's completely in Spanish. And I'm from Venezuela, so well, I do the translations, and I have another partner who is called Juan. He's another VIP also for Cisco Learning Network, and we are trying to bring this content in Spanish to include more people, because it is known for everybody that the content in English is most of it. I mean, 90-something% is everywhere in English. And then there is some people that maybe they don't find the word into English, or maybe they just get it better in their own language. I mean, that's not a problem. It's a kind of thing that depends on where you're born, right? But then when we create this content in Spanish, then we realize that there's people checking it. We have posts with 2,000 and something else views, and then you see like, okay, there's a whole group of people, there's an audience that we were missing before, and now they're actually checking it out. Then I have people like writing me a message on Twitter, hey, are you releasing something new? And we're trying to do it in a monthly basis. So we are right now starting with the CCDE, Unleashing CCDE blog post in the Cisco Learn Network, and I'm just moving everything to Spanish, and my partner Juan is creating content related to QoS, multicast. I mean, really, it's really like high-level things, amazing. And we are just doing it in a 2 weeks basis. So I do one post, and then he goes another, and we're trying to make it constant so people really get motivated and then try to join us, because some people is really not joining it because they say, no, I don't speak English that well,
right? And
maybe I will not understand it, or maybe just don't like it. And then suddenly it's now in Spanish, and then, okay, now I like it.
Right, yeah. I can't imagine having to learn something like a CCDE or CCIE or even the CCNA in a language that wasn't my own, because it's already almost a different language when we're talking all of the technical aspects and stuff. So, that's why we love Cisco Champions. I think that is so helpful. Do you know, are other people in other countries, with other languages, do you know of any that are working on that as well?
Yes, I mean, when you come here and then you get to know the champions, there's one of the champions is from Hungary, there's another guy in Germany, and suddenly you get here guys from Netherlands, and they're like, I mean, we only see each other like once a year. And then we are here the whole week, we are like, hey! And the guys are like, what's up? It's just amazing. And then let's go to eat, or let's go to have this session, or let's grab a coffee. I mean, you don't even have to be in a session, it's just sharing and talking. One of the guys from Netherlands, he told me he will bring some stroop waffles. I don't know if I pronounce it properly.
Yeah, strup waffles, I believe.
Sorry, I tend to misspell. And we just made a deal. Okay, you bring me this, and I will bring you Czech chocolates because I'm based in Czech Republic. So then we just made a.
And that's the real deal, is trading the food. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's a good way. Like, hey, I got this chocolate for you, and they're like, okay, it's just amazing. And usually the champions or the whole group is. What I love is that you are belonging to something bigger. I like the fact that you can feel that you are part of something big. And then you have 300 guys or women, people from all over the world in just a Spark room. So imagine the riot, because then somebody writes something, and then there's another guy replying, and sometimes it's just a joke that really goes long way, and then
you have to scroll all the way up.
Yeah, you have been there, and then you just go back and see that, it's too late for the joke, so just, okay, forget it.
On to the next.
Yeah, and some other times there's a guy having a doubt, there's having a question, and then you receive 5 or 10 different answers for your problem, how you can solve it. And sometimes it's that granular, like you can do this, and then you realize that these people is there just to give you a hand. And there are guys, for example, sometimes I have a question about ACI, and there's a guy telling me, because I do deployment in blah, 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 so you can do this, and it will be perfect. And they are like sharing this expertise in no time, because also they are doing it unselfishly. They are not asking for something in return, it's just collaborating, let's make it better. And then like, okay, let's make a blog about it later. So then you just, with that information, you create a blog, and then you share it, and more people is able to see it.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty cool when you learn from something, when you just mess something up, like, oh God, I brought the DC down, right? I mean, it happened.
Best way to learn.
Yeah, but when you learn from somebody who actually did it, and then the guy just plugged it, hey, don't do this, then okay, then that will save me a lot of time, maybe like 12 hours.
And I think that's the reason that Cisco Champions are great, and that why everyone needs to contribute content. Guys, thank you so much for being here.